Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the info session on the City of San Antonio COVID and construction impact grants. We'll give everyone just a moment to enter the session. And as you all are joining us, we will have a time for Q&A at the end of the session. But if you do have any questions at any point, you're welcome to post them in the Q&A section of this Zoom call, and we'll be able to answer them as we go. We'll give everyone just one more minute to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, well, let's begin. So we are here today to go through the program logistics of the City of San Antonio COVID and Construction Impact Grants Program. This program is specifically designed to help those businesses that have been impacted by some of the ongoing city-initiated projects that have been happening over the past few years. This session is bilingual, so if you would like to listen to the session in Spanish, all you'll need to do is click on the interpretation button that looks like a globe at the bottom of your screen, and then click Spanish, and you'll also want to click mute original audio.
Sección bilingüe, instrucciones de audio. Escuche en español. En los controles de la reunión o el seminario web, haga clic en la interpretación. Haga clic en el idioma que desea escuchar, que va a ser en español. Y para escuchar solo el idioma interpretado, haga clic en silenciar audio original. Esto es opcional.
Thank you, Monica. So my name is Lilian Spenley. I am the Grant Programs and Operations Manager here at Lift Fund, and I've worked on a number of the programs that the city has very generously made available over the past few years. Lift Fund and the city have been longtime partners, and that partnership is so valued and appreciated. So I'm delighted to introduce Caitlin Cowart from the city in the Office of the Economic Development Department today to share a little bit more about how this program came to be.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for attending today. We recognize that many small businesses like yours have been faced with challenges as a result of city-initiated projects. Last month, the City Council approved to reallocate $2.25 million of the city's ARPA small business funds towards this new grant program. And actually just yesterday, City Council allocated an additional $1.49 million, bringing the total program budget to $3.74 million. The grant program will assist small businesses whose economic recovery from the pandemic has been prolonged by construction. Last year, another initiative that we did work on with Lift Fund is the COVID Impact Grants Program, which was a program of $17 million. Within that program, there was an additional $10,000 enhancement for eligible businesses that were in construction zones. We awarded construction supplements to 135 businesses in that program and 521 total grants to businesses. We're very pleased to be able to offer this program, and some of you may have applied for the previous program. You would still be eligible for this one, and Lilian will cover some of those details as we go through the slides. But I want to thank Lilian and her team for organizing this session and this program on behalf of Lift Fund, and we are very grateful to be able to be partners again on this program. We're also working with community partners such as San Antonio for Growth on the East Side, Prosper West, and Centro. They are available out there to provide technical assistance, such as access to technology and assistance in submitting the applications. We will go over how to contact them during this presentation. So I'm going to hand it back over to Lilian so we can learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. So to dive into all of the requirements and criteria, as Caitlin mentioned, with the additional funds that the city allocated just yesterday, the total program is $3.74 million for small businesses who continue to feel those effects of the pandemic as a result of the ongoing construction. The grants for this program will range from $10,000 to $35,000. And the application opened this past Monday, the 13th, and it will be open until February 28th. So you still got another week and a half or so to get it in. The application will close at 5 o'clock. So please be sure to mark your calendar for 5 p.m. It is not 11:59 p.m. So definitely want to make sure that you have that time, in your mind for the deadline to submit. Once the application closes, we will be reviewing all of the applications for about a 2.5-month period between March and mid-May. And award notifications will begin to go out in mid-March, and they'll continue all the way until the end of May. And then most importantly, perhaps when the dollars actually get into your account for those approved, that the deposits will begin late March and continue until early June. So for this program, the funds can really be used for most types of business expenses. So payroll, benefits, contract labor, working capital, rent for your business, or rent or mortgage for the business location. Those do need to be for a commercial property versus, home, if you're a home-based business. Supplies, inventory, equipment, utilities, all of that, typical operating expenses are qualified expenses. The award amount will be based on the reduction in net income between 2021 and 2022. So that is, and we can go into more about that later, but that's how the award amount will be calculated, up to a maximum of $35,000. All of the applications will be reviewed based on the information that you provide to us. So very important for everything to be accurate. And then of course, the information that will verify through the documentation that you'll be asked to upload. So the requirements for the program are that you be a retail or service business with a storefront location that requires customers to come to you for your daily business, or if you're a home-based business that you are a service or retail industry that requires customers to come to your home to transact that business. Your gross sales in 2021 have to be a minimum of $10,000. And then your net, the reduction in net profit or loss between 2021 and 2022 has to be at least $10,000. So 2021 net is at least $10,000 more than 2022 net. You have to have been operating since at least January 1 of 2021 and still be currently in operation. So not be, have shut down and closed permanently, and not have filed for bankruptcy at this point in time, and be in good standing with the Texas Comptroller's Office, if that's applicable. That's for not sole proprietors, so LLCs, corporations, and partnerships. Furthermore, you'll need to meet the SBA size standard for a small business, and we'll look at the website later. There's a tool to look up if your business meets the SBA size standard. You'll need to be the majority owner of the business, and know, as far as prohibited industries, nearly all industries are eligible for this program, except for payday and auto loan providers, liquor stores, sexually oriented businesses, gambling businesses, no nonprofits, and then franchisors. So if you are Subway, no grant for you. If you own a Subway locally, that's perfectly fine. And we'll also see that list, the very short list of prohibited businesses on the next slide. And then, of course, as we saw on the previous slide, you will need to be a retail or service industry business. So the required document list is very short. It's just 6 items. So you'll need to have a current ID or a government issued ID. So that could be a passport or your matricula, any photo government issued ID that is current. So definitely pull out your ID right now, check your driver's license, make sure that it hasn't expired. And if it has expired, go ahead and get that renewed, because we are going to be looking to make sure that it's current. You'll need your business registration with Bexar County or the Texas Secretary of State. So that's your certificate of incorporation or formation, if you're an LLC or corporation, or your DBA or assumed name certificate if you are a sole proprietor. Then we'll need to verify the number of employees that you had in third quarter last year. So that can be either your 941 form that you filed with the IRS, or a payroll report, anything that you may pull from your bookkeeping and accounting system, maybe from QuickBooks or something like that. Then we'll need the business utility bill. If you are a business that all of your utilities are included with your lease, a copy of your lease or your most recent rental invoice is perfectly fine. Then your 2021 filed business return. So everyone should have filed their taxes for 2021 at this point. So we will need that filed return versus a stated return. And then for 2022, we understand everyone may not have filed yet. So we can either take your filed or stated return or a profit and loss financial statement if you haven't filed yet. The grant, the funds will not be on a first come, first served basis. So there will be a scoring system for this program, and every single applicant will get an application score. And those with the highest application scores will get reviewed for consideration and notified and funded first, followed by those with the lower scores until there are no more funds left. So the scoring will be based on 4 categories. And those categories are the reduction in net profit or loss between 2021 and 2022. So the greater the loss that you've experienced, the greater your score in this category will be. The percent of the SBA size standard that your business is. So the size standards are either based on annual revenue or on the number of employees that you have. It depends on your industry for how that's determined, but essentially the smaller you are relative to that size standard, the greater the points that you would receive in this category. Then thirdly, the Equity Atlas score. So those where your business location is in a more underserved, under-resourced area would receive some extra points in this category. And then lastly, the duration of the construction project that's near you. So the longer that construction has been going on, if you're in one of those projects that's coming up on 2 or 3 years, you'd receive more points than the projects that have not been going on so long. You can see a more detailed breakdown of the score that we just covered right here, and I'll pause for a moment on this slide to give you a chance to look it over. The maximum score for any application will be 120 points, and all of this information will be on the website that we'll view in a moment, so you'll see where that is, so no need to memorize anything right now. The application is found on the website at www.cosaconstructionimpactgrant.com. And from the website, you'll be able to click apply now, and it will take you to the application portal. The application is in 2 steps. So the very first screen that you'll see when you create an account to apply is it will ask you to enter your address and verify that you are in a construction zone. And then if you are found to be in a construction zone, then you'll be able to proceed on to the application. For most folks, it takes 30 minutes to an hour to complete the application. You will have the ability to log in and start the application and exit and save your work and come back later if you need to. If maybe you're missing one of the documents, you need to go locate it and come back later, you will be able to do that up until the closing of the application period, of course. But we definitely recommend gathering those 6 documents before you get started, and it will make the application process a lot smoother. You will need to have all of the fields filled in for the application and all of the documents uploaded in order to submit. The application will not let you submit if it's incomplete. So if you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to Lift Fund at our dedicated grant phone line at 800-923-9551, or to email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. You can also reach out to one of the partners that Caitlin mentioned that are available for application assistance. And you'll be able to see a list of all of those partners on the website, which we'll view here in just a moment, as well as their address and their contact info. There's a map to show where they're located so that you can identify the partner that's closest to you and most convenient for you. Some other resources. So Lift Fund, of course, also has small business loans at low interest rates. So you can always check out our loan products on our website. And then we do have our business support centers, both Launch SA and the Women's Business Center available for classes and workshops and one-on-one consultations with a business advisor. The list of the classes, our upcoming workshops, of which 99% are free, can be found at liftfund.com/events. So let's go over to the website now and check it out, and I'll show you where all of this information that we've been discussing can be found. The website is available in Spanish simply by clicking the Español button at the top of the screen. The partners that we mentioned for application assistance are here under this partners tab, and you can see the map showing where they each are located, and then you have each of their names and their websites and phone numbers and addresses here. You will need to schedule an appointment in order to go in for in-person application assistance. That's just to be sure that there is someone available to help you at the time that you go in. We don't want to waste anyone's time. So please be sure to call them or reach out to them to schedule that appointment before going into their offices. So as I mentioned, the Apply Now button is right here at the top of the screen, and you can click there to get to the application portal. The deadline for the application period is February 28th, again at 5 p.m., not 11:59. A list of the eligibility requirements are here, and here is that tool that I mentioned earlier to check your SBA size standard. So it's just going to ask you for the number of employees you have, your average gross sales for last year, and the what type of business you are. So for example, if I'm a restaurant, I would put in 722. I'll put in, my NAICS code based on my tax return to determine my industry. And then I'll put in my, average gross sales, let's say $2 million. And then it will tell me right here, yes, you are within the size standard. The size standard for restaurants is actually 13.5 million. So I'm on the lower end of the size standard. You can also check right from the website if your business is within a construction zone. So you'll be able to put in your address. For example, if I checked Lift Fund's address, then I would know that Lift Fund is unfortunately not in a construction zone. So Lift Fund cannot apply for this grant. Also, the fact that we are a nonprofit would disqualify us. And then we can see that list of the prohibited activities, those prohibited NAICS codes here. Again, it's really a very limited list, just casino, gambling, liquor stores, and payday lenders, that type of thing. The list of that required documents are here, just those 6 items that we discussed. The scoring system with that breakdown within each category is listed here. And you can also click here to check the equity score based on your business address. So you'll be able to know your score for that right away. The program timeline just has the 4 phases of the program. So the application period, closing on February 28th, the review period going until mid-May, the award notification period, which goes until late May, and then the disbursement period going until early June. If you are selected for the program, you will receive that notification as an email. It'll come through DocuSign with a Lift Fund address. So I know there's a lot of fear out there of scam and fraud, which is a very good concern to have, but certainly you'll know that it's a legitimate email because it'll come from DocuSign and it will have a Lift Fund email address on there. So definitely you want to be on the lookout for that. Any businesses that are selected for the grant will be asked to complete a follow-up survey in January 2024 and January 2025, just for us to see how you're doing, a year out or 6 months out and a year and a half out from receiving these funds. Finally, we have some additional resources here for you. So if you're needing utility assistance, we have the links for those opportunities. We have the City of San Antonio that has other resources as well. And then a list of different grants that are available, not through the city or through Lift Fund, but some other opportunities that you may qualify for and could be worth looking at. We have one more info session for this program coming up next week on the 21st. So you're welcome to register for that one. It'll be very similar to this session. We'll also have the slides and the recording from this session posted here on the site within the next day or two. Again, if you do need in-person assistance with the application, you're welcome to visit any of the 7 partners. And then we have some FAQs here, some of the common questions that we see. One of the biggest ones that I didn't cover already is if the grant is taxable. It is taxable, and if you are a recipient, Lift Fund will send you a 1099 reporting that grant revenue to the IRS next January. So with that, I will take a pause. I know I covered a lot of information, and we've already had some questions come in that Monica has been answering for us, but we'll open up for any additional questions that you all have. Great. And Caitlin, feel free to add anything onto this. But the question is, what determines a construction zone? So the construction zones are areas around city-initiated construction projects that have been going on, I believe, since December 2020. Caitlin, please correct me if I'm wrong.
I'd have to check the dates. They need to be at least 12 months and been ongoing as of December 2022. And it's a city initiated project, a bond project specifically.
Great.
I'll double check while we on the commencement dates of the projects too.
Perfect. And to that end, yes, you can enter your address into this tool here on the website under the eligibility section where it says click here, and you'll put in your business address and it will tell you if you fall into one of those construction zones that are qualified for this program. Yes, so sole proprietors are eligible as long as you meet all of the other requirements, and then any service or retail industry, so nail salon, restaurant, and food truck, as long as they're located in one of the construction zones and meet all of the other criteria, would be eligible.
And I'm sorry, I have the second part of that. And I believe that's what you're saying, Lilian. They had to begin between January of 2020 and June of 2020 and been ongoing as of December 2022.
Thank you for confirming that, Caitlin. As far as the previous program that was offered last fall, all of that program is closed, and all of the award notifications, whether you were approved or not selected, have gone out. So you will have received a notification regarding that previous program. There's a question regarding the link for this website, and so I'll post it here in the chat. It looks like the link that you may be looking at has some extra words in it, so you may be checking a different link, but I will post here in the chat for everyone the link to this program's website. Okay. Let's see. For the previous program, those notifications did go out by email. Yes. Okay. There are a lot of questions about the geography and if a business qualifies or doesn't qualify. So we just encourage everyone to check their business's address using the tool here on the website. We know that there are construction projects happening all over the city. Some of them are not necessarily city initiated. Unfortunately for this program, it only covers businesses in the areas around city initiated and bond funded projects. We have a few more questions on whether, if businesses not necessarily in these construction zones are eligible. But unfortunately, this program is very specific in order to support these these zones or these businesses in these areas. And certainly the city is always looking for ways to support small businesses and has offered several grant programs over the past few years for, all small businesses, for businesses in the hospitality industry, and other, specific populations to serve those most hit by the pandemic over the past few years. I'll underscore again a few of the eligibility criteria that we've had some questions about. So kind of the difference on gross and net, gross sales and net profit or loss. So there are two financial related eligibility criteria for this program. So one is that your 2021 gross sales, this is typically line 1 or line 1A of your tax return, be at least $10,000. And then the second financial related criteria is that there's at least a $10,000 reduction in net profit or loss in between 2021 and 2022. So wanted to underline that distinction in those two factors. If there are questions that you all think of after this session, our contact information is right here at 800-923-9551. And we have a whole team of grant specialists ready to answer those questions. You're also welcome to email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. And I'll also pull up that list of the additional resources again. If you are not eligible for this program, or even if you are, you're welcome to consider accessing some of these other resources. You can also reach out to the city, for information on other resources, and that phone number here is 210-207-3924 or smallbizinfo@sanantonio.gov. Okay, well, looks like we have a few more questions. Great. Yes, some more. Oh, Monica's already answered that. She's very fast. All right, you all are quiet today. Hopefully you've had a chance for some of you to go into the application portal and begin your applications already and have begun working through that process. Again, the application period will end on February 28th. That's next Tuesday, or 2 Tuesdays from now, at 5 p.m. And we'll stick around here for another few minutes, but it looks like most of these questions have been answered. So we do really appreciate you all joining us today, and wish you good luck for this program. And again, so grateful to the city for listening to understand what is needed, what the needs are, and addressing those needs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, it looks like we have no more questions. If you all do think of anything, we're always here at the phone number and email listed on the website. And we'd be happy to discuss any matters after this call. So feel free to reach out to us, and we will be ready to answer. And good luck.